Hey guys, it's Tracy. Welcome to today's video. Hey guys, I have been getting some requests for some more rustic country Halloween DIYs, and I know that it is only a few weeks before Halloween, but I finally got finished with doing this, and I wanted to add it here to my channel here. And so because people are finding me at all different times throughout the year, and so anyway, I wanted to show how I created this little busted canvas. I kind of made it like a shadow box, and isn't she just adorable? So this is one of the projects, as well as I made some of the little Halloween shower curtains, as well as a couple of other projects. And so anyway, thank you so much for your support, for your suggestions, and for just being here. I am so blessed by your presence, and let's go ahead and get into today's video. For this cute little project, I am using two 8x10 canvases, as well as this scrapbook paper and some cardboard. Now, I'm going to be making a shadow box for my little busted canvas here. And so this one right here is this orange scrapbook paper. I'm just going to measure that out so that I can figure out how to trim that so that I can adhere that to the back of my canvas, because that is going to be the background that you see through my busted canvas. Now I just attach that using my adhesive tape glider. I get questions about this every time I use it, and I got mine over at Michael's, and you can get them there in the scrapbooking section. So I go ahead and figure out how to put that in there. So then I'm going to paint the inside of the other canvas, and I want that to be solid black. Here is when I realize, oh, I need to go ahead and paint the wood frames of my canvases. And so I figure out how to do that with this one. I trim off some white white cardstock and was going to act as a shield. And it kind of slipped a little bit, and I got a little black on my orange paper, but that is okay. I just took my little brush and did the best that I could, and any of the black paint that got on my orange paper, hey, it just adds to the character of my handmade project. Anything of the outside of the canvases, I went ahead and gave that a coat of black paint, so everything looked really nice. Then for my buffalo check, I measured out what piece I wanted, and then I used the Mod Podge heat transfer method on my canvas to attach my paper. The cardboard is something that I had on hand, and I cut it into three pieces because I'm going to be making a dimensional ghost. Now, I just take a piece of a white cardstock and just trace out a ghost pattern, just kind of, freehand that, cut that out. Then I'm going to draw it on each of my pieces of cardboard and cut those out individually so that they will all be the same. Then I'm going to glue those together using my little clamps to hold them while they dry, and then I give it a coat of white paint, the sides and the top of it, and then I'm going to be adding some modeling paste. Now this is Liquitex Basics acrylic. I found this at Hobby Lobby, and I just use my palette knife to put that on there, just kind of like I'm frosting a cake or a cupcake or something like that, just kind of making that my little ghost look kind of dimensional and just have a little bit of texture to it. Then I take my diamond glitter, and while the modeling paste is still wet, I sprinkle that on, let that dry completely, and then we're going to move on to the face. I found the cute little face in a Cricut Design Space, one of their images, so I just cut it out on my Cricut Joy using some permanent vinyl, and I'm going to use some Real Blush, Real Makeup just make some little cheeks for her, and then just adhere the little eyes, nose, and mouth to her face. Now, once all of that's dry, then I'm going to take the vintage photo distress ink and distress it just a bit, just to give her a little bit of color so that she's not so stark white. And then I will glue her to one of those, the backside of the canvas that is going to be like my shadow box. And then to cut the canvas, like to do the busted portion of the busted canvas, I just poke a hole in the middle with my paper piercer, and then just using my scissors and my box blade, I make the slits kind of like a pizza. Now at the bottom, I left those two hole so that I can use some of that modeling paste to make her look like she has some little hands, and so that I'm going to be adding that, and then adding some of that vintage photo distress ink in that as well. And then I just tacked everything down with hot glue, rolled it, and everything looks really nice with that. Now once I get to the shading of the around the edges of the canvas, I'm using my black Gelato, and that is I had got a set of those from Amazon, and I love that in my mixed media. It just kind of adds just a little bit of distressing, and I actually kind of forgot about them. I was cleaning my craft room and ran across them, and I'm like, you know what, I haven't used these in a while, so you may be seeing me use these in more projects coming up, because those are some of those forgotten things that I have. And so I'm just using my finger just to kind of smooth it on, and it just kind of really gives a little bit of depth and dimension to my projects. I'm also going to be making a small banner, just the banner that says boo, and just making everything look really cute and festive for the season. This is how I made my shower ring pumpkins, just in the Halloween theme, just using some different orange and black fabric. Now I cut them out about 3/4 of an inch, just ripped them, and then I took my little flat iron, just little tool that, you know, I use for my hair, and I pressed it out and kind of smooth out that fabric so that I could wrap it around a little bit easier. I just used my Fabri-Tac glue to help glue everything down. Now, this is the same way that I'm doing these as I did in my fall video where I shared how I created these pumpkins using the plastic shower rings from the Dollar Tree. I'll link to that video as well if that's something that you would like to see. So for my pumpkin stems, there are a lot of different materials that people use for their pumpkin stems. Now, these wood pieces, I got some of them from Dollar Tree, some from Hobby Lobby. I could not find any of the small thin ones, or like they're thin but cut a little bit longer. They're a little bit wider, and I didn't have time at the time of this video to ask my husband, hey, can you cut me some pumpkin stems? I had found this wood bundle from Hobby Lobby, and it's in the Christmas section. So at the time of this video, they have their Christmas stuff 50% off. And so I said, oh, this might work for my pumpkin stems. So I purchased it and just cut it apart. It has some felt on the back so that, you can wrap it around different things, different projects, or in your decor. So I just took my heat gun and just got that felt off of there, kind of melt that glue on there. Some of them came off a little bit easier than the other ones, but I just used my needle nose pliers or whatever I could to get that felt off of there. And so at first I was going to use some E6000, then I'm like, you dummy, that is some wood. So I pulled out my Tite Bond wood glue and then glued those together, kind of matching up the stems or the pieces where I felt that they went together nicely. And so then I just let them dry with my little clamps. For the little orange and white curly cues, I just use the handles of these pumpkin bags I got from the Dollar Tree. I just heated up that so that I could slide out those little handles a little bit easier so that I wouldn't tear the bag. And I thought that they were a little bit stiffer than what they actually ended up being. So what I did is I just wrapped it around a dowel, and then I just taped it with some little painter's tape, and then I sprayed it really, really good with some Stiffen Quik, let that dry, and then sprayed it again and let those completely dry, and then that gives me the curly cues that I used for my pumpkins. This pumpkin jack-o'-lantern jar, we're starting with this jar. This came from my mother. She had, I think, like sauerkraut or something like that was in it. And I loved the shape of it. So I'm like, hey, can you save that for me? And she did. All right. So then what I'm using here is just an orange napkin. And I just cut it in half. It's a 2-ply napkin, but that's okay. I'm not going to take it apart. I am just going to cover the jar with Mod Podge and then Mod Podge the napkin on the jar, working in sections so that I can get it adhered all the way around. And I'm okay if it's wrinkled. I want some of it wrinkled. I don't want it to be straight. I want it to have kind of some lumps and bumps because that just adds to the character of this pumpkin witch jar. I am going to measure out how big or what size I want my face. So I figure that I wanted a little bit more than 3.5 inches. So I go to Cricut Design Space and find a face that I want, and I measure it at 3.65 by 3.65. Now, if you don't have Cricut Design Space, you can definitely use stickers or just cut vinyl. That is definitely something that one could do. I just have a Cricut and have a Cricut Access program, and so I decided to use it and cut all of this out on my Cricut Joy. Now I'm putting it on individually instead of like using transfer tape, just because I did not want it to tear the paper that was on the jar, and so I'm just using my spatula and helping get those little pieces off of that paper and then putting them where I want them, and then my little jack-o'-lantern face is going to be complete. I also decided to add some glitter to my jar, and so I just took my Gorilla adhesive spray and just some fire. It's like Martha Stewart. It's like a gold glistening glitter, and then also some diamond glitter, and just went around the jar. I know it really doesn't show up very well on camera, but in person, it just adds that little bit of touch that I wanted for my little pumpkin jack-o'-lantern jar here. To light up my jar, I wanted a flameless candle. That's why I would use the large mouth jar, but at the time of this video, I couldn't find one, so I just had some of these lights from the Dollar Tree that are battery operated, so they did the trick and they turned out perfect. All right, so then for the black hat, I found this garland over at Walmart, and it is like a whole bunch of them, so I thought that this hat would be perfect for this wide mouth jar, and I'm going to go ahead and put a little bend in it so it's not so straight. And then to decorate the hat, I'm just using different fabrics, just ripping them, and then gonna make a little hat band with some orange gingham fabric, and then using some other coordinating fabrics just to make a little bow. I'm going to use one of my tea stain tags that I had on hand and some rubber stamps to be stamping out the word boo, and then I'm going to add a little bit of distressing ink with my vintage photo. That one is my favorite. I'm going to cut down the tag after I get it all stamped up and all of that good stuff, and then to add it to the hat, I just used a Rusty safety pin. I'm going to be using a page out of this Farmers Market 2025 calendar that I picked up from a Dollar Tree. It is the Welcome to Our Pumpkin Patch with the black truck and the buffalo check. I'm going to be adhering that to this chipboard. Now I have several of these. They're 12 by 12 chipboard that I picked up at Hobby Lobby when they were selling them. If that is something that you're interested in, you can find them off of Amazon just by doing a search for 12-inch chipboard. All right, so I took off the pesty sticker on the back, and then I'm going to give it a coat of this acrylic Master's Touch paint. I like it because it's thick and it gives a really good coverage. I'm going to be just painting the sides and the back and then drying that up just with my little heat tool. Now I'm going to be adding some Mod Podge to the front of the chipboard. I'm going to be drying that, and then I'll be doing the Mod Podge heat transfer method with my little iron. I use a Cricut mini heat press. For my floral topper, I'm just using some filler bushes that I got from the Dollar Tree, as well as these black twigs that I picked up at Joann's craft store. And I'm just going to be using some pit berries, as well as different muslin and fabric and just different laces. I'm also going to be using some black and white buffalo check ribbon. I'm going to be adding a hanger to the back, covering that up with some felt, and then making a bow out of that buffalo check ribbon. And then I'll attach everything together just with some wire, and then also my stapler. And I got my stapler on Amazon, and I'll have a link for that in the description box if that's something that you're interested in. I got these little polka dot buttons at Hobby Lobby when they were on clearance, and so I decided to add those at the bottom of my little sign here just for some added whimsy and more cuteness.